Lights, camera, action, I'm splashing. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss still, wheel and dip, limousine ride, jet flying, sun look up, and I'm having a hard time holding these Detroit Lions down. Woo!
Pussy. What up, though, everybody? It's Mr. Lights, Camera, Action. I'm Splashing, the host of UpnSmoke, the podcast, navigating through the smoke, bringing you another episode of UpnSmoke. This podcast is powered by the space station, so I don't have to tell you who's behind the camera, because you know it's the best. Listen, man, there's a lot of shit to talk about today over what happened in the NFL over in Week 8. Crazy shit that went on, from the Lions hanging up 52 over Tennessee to Jaden Daniels throwing a Hail Mary and a prayer being answered. I just also want to highlight that this was also National Tight Ends Week, and there was 16 touchdowns that were posted throughout the league for Week 8, tight ends wise, and over 177 catches for that whole week of Week 8 for tight ends. So I thought that was pretty dope there. And also Kelce found the end zone for the first time this year. So let's get into the Week 8 recap. We got the Vikings at the Rams. Rams getting the receiving duo back, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. And they both had a good game there. Kyron Williams, 10 straight games with a touchdown. Stafford throws for 4 in the air. Rams headbutt the Vikings. It was a Sonic and Knuckles show in Detroit. That's it. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery both hit pay dirt. Goff had 3 touchdowns in the air. Lions take a bite out of Mason Rudolph and the Tennessee Titans. Believe me, Titans, ain't nobody going to remember that performance. Unless you're Detroit, that is. I also want to highlight something, too. No J-Mo, okay? No Jameis Williams. I heard he just got busted, too. Earlier, I heard some news about him being busted, had guns in the car. Listen, man, at this point, J-Mo, sit down, get your shit in order. We're not going to end up like Ja Morant, all right? We're not doing that shit. I'm just going to say that, all right? Rest up, come back ready, serve your next game suspension, come back ready to go. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell already said they trust you. We trust you, and we know what you're capable of doing. You know, I think Kelce heard me last week call him out on the last week's episode of UpnSmoke, and he finally reaches the end zone here this week against the Raiders. Good, we can all fucking breathe again. Chiefs beat the Raiders. New York with a case of boss. The plane. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm saying here's a case of A-Rod. You're the one to blame the blame. All right? You walk around this bitch, BMOC, big man on campus, with your chest poked out, poking and pointing at everything you want and don't want around the organization in the league. I want this. I want this. Yeah, I want Salah out of here. And I want my best friend. And I want you to get a fucking win. All right? You talk about this discount double check. Well, I'm looking at you guys like discount double frauds, you and your posse. All right? And I just want to say, I think that ayahuasca has got your fucking brain fried, Rodgers. Saquon and the Eagles fly high in Cincy. It was all a Jalen show as he had 4 touchdowns. Bengals have been playing like shit lately. Truth hurts. No love, no problem. Malik Willis and the Packers beat the Jacksonville Jesus and the Jaguars there. Green Bay, 4 straight wins. Fuck. Fuckers are hotter than fish grease right now. That's all right, Detroit. We'll see you next week in Lambeau. We fight, no cap. We walk in your trap and take over your trap. We fight, no cap. We walk in your trap and take over your trap. Listen, this ain't the words of me. This is the wise words of Kirk Cousins. Kirk O'Chains throws for 4 touchdowns in the air. Falcons fly into Tampa Bay and get the job done. They took care of business. Kyle Pitts catches 2 of those touchdowns. Down 2 scores in the 4th. Kyler Murray and the Birds kept their composure and had their confidence as they rally over the Dolphins in Tua's return. Trey McBride and Maserati Marv each eclipse 100 yards apiece. Cards win 28-27. Browns snap a 4-game losing streak. Jameis Winston and the Dog Pound pounce on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. 3 touchdowns for Jameis Winston as the Browns chew their way to a W at home. It was all a Joe Mixon show there in Houston. Yeah, Stephon did his fair share of digging into the defense for 80 yards. Say it loud. I'm C.J. Stroud. Damn near 300 yards in the air. You know, I smell a little bull jive brewing with Anthony Richardson there in the Colts as he checked himself out the game there. Reason being says he was tired. Well, Anthony, as if you and your 10 other players in that huddle ain't fucking bent over gasping for air. Indy, this is your quarterback of the future? Listen, man, AR5 has the worst pass completion rate in the last decade at 44%. Y'all were better off for going with Joe Flacco under center. Oh, hold on, excuse me. Breaking news. Colts bench Anthony Richardson, start Flacco for this Sunday. There you got it. It was all a Lad McConkey show there in LA. His 2 touchdowns propelled the Chargers over the Saints. Man, that kid's a dog. Literally. McConkey, the former Georgia Bulldog and champion, having himself a good rookie season there, finding his rhythm there. Look for big things to come for him as the rest of the season. He's emerging there as Justin Herbert's #1 receiver. Okay, Harbaugh. Maybe he ain't a screwball after all. Oh, and go blue, pussy. You know what, Michigan State, I want to elaborate on something else too. I know this is 2 different, college and the pros, but Michigan State, we already got your fucking MO. All right. It seems like your fight is at the end of the game when you should be more focused on the fucking fight in between them white lines. But then again, with coming from the little brother, that's being expected. Pussy. Josh Allen, in a cruise control all game, throws 2 touchdowns. Bills stomp Seattle in the 12th man on the road. Fucking Geno Smith, man. Looked like he was going to cry there. DK Metcalf with a little pick-me-up. Not good enough. Geno, me, and everybody else is writing you off. Denver's Bo Nix with a couple nicks up his sleeve. 3 touchdowns. Bryce Young back under center there for Carolina, and he had himself a decent game too. You know what? I'm just glad to see you out there, Bryce, doing what you love to do. Keep your head up, my guy. Carolina's doing you dirty. Brock Purdy and George Kittle hold off Dallas at home. Dakota Prescott. Yeah, your place smells like open ass. And don't worry about it, CeeDee Lamb. You ain't the problem. But if I were you, I'd start peeling and pulling myself away from that bull jive in Dallas. Somebody do me a favor and check on Jerry Jones. Make sure he's still got a pulse and he ain't going into cardiac arrest. And yeah, Trayvon, that's what I got from that. Battle of the number 1 and 2 picks as Caleb Williams and the Bears go against Commanders and Jaden Daniels. Man, this was a great game all the way down to the end. Literally, last play off a Hail Mary. More like a Hail Daniels. The way he threw that ball, evading that traffic. All them guys trying to get at him. Wiggles out of the pocket, heaves a fucking 70-yard moon ball as it gets tipped by a bunch of Chicago Bears players and Commander players into the hands of Noah Brown. But I want to say something. You, Tyreek Stevenson, the fuck were you doing? Had your back to the quarterback, fucking pussyfooting around, jaw jacking, dick flapping with the fans there as the play's going on. Then somehow, I give you credit, mid-play, somehow you bounce back, fly across the field like Clark Kent just to tip the ball right to the fucking guy. You're a bonehead, all right? And you're a screwball, all right? And if I was the coach, you'd be benched. Daniels outduels Caleb Williams. And I'm just going to say this. Jaden Daniels is him. Russell Wilson gets his second win there in Pittsburgh. George Pickens and the menace. That's right. How you like these threads? That's it. 2 touchdowns called back for you, George. You know, and that Malik Neighbors had one called back too. Let me ask you something. Does anybody even know what a fuck a catch is anymore in the NFL? I mean, really, because I'm confused at this point. Wilson also found himself a new weapon, Calvin Austin. That kid's electric, and he's on fire, man. 2 touchdowns as he had that punt return, and he had that one post-route corner. Beautiful throw by Russell Wilson. Tyrone Tracy looks to be a solid running back for New York Giants. That's the thing I like about New York. That's the one thing I do like. You guys got a nice young core with Neighbors over there. And Tyrone Tracy, he's looking solid every game. He keeps getting better and better. Steelers just too big for the Giants there at home. And that was it for your NFL Week 8 recap. Let's get up to these UpnSmoke players of the week, man. I got 3 of them. Sorta. The first one, got to go to my home team as a whole, the Lions as a whole. Going into this game already on 2 crutches without our guys, no J-Mo, no Hutch, and still find a way to get it done. And what people always called it is a trap game. We're not the same old Lions, SOL. That's not the moniker we're going to use anymore. The same old Lions would have lost that game and found a way to lose that game. We're not looking out of the rear view. We're looking through the windshield. One pride. My next UpnSmoke player of the week, Jameis Winston. 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Down goes Watson. Here you come patiently waiting, right at the helm. And you know what? Going forward there in Cleveland, I think you're the spark that they need. Okay? They're missing something. They were dull and bland. I like you, Jameis. My next UpnSmoke player of the week, after a performance like that, Jaden Daniels. Number 1 pick, outduels the number 1 pick there. They needed a prayer, got an answer, even if it meant a last play Hail Mary. This kid is unbelievable, dude. What CJ Stroud did last year, nobody thought that was ever going to be, duplicated, because he had himself a good year too. It's just something about this kid, Jaden Daniels, man. I like Caleb Williams too. Matter of fact, I like a lot of these quarterbacks, these young cats in this draft, just in the draft and just what's in this past year. I like the development. Bo Nix is another one. These guys are looking solid, these rookies, man. So going into the future, I'm really excited to see what the league's going to turn out to look like in a passing league. Now let's get up into our UpnSmoke fantasy watchers. I have 3 of these as well. Down goes Stephon Diggs. That's right. Stephon Diggs suffered a torn ACL in last week's match. No Nico Collins either. You just got Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz. I like John Mechie III. I remember you guys remember Mechie. He was on the trade block last year, which I'm glad they didn't trade this guy. You want to keep this guy for depth. Like I said, with Diggs out, Nico Collins out, this is a perfect opportunity for you, John Mechie, to prove yourself. I think you're a good player. It's time to make your presence felt. Your teammate is another guy that I think is really going to have some solid production there in that Texans offense too. Robert Woods. He's a savvy veteran, finds a way to get open. My next UpnSmoke player to watch, Ladd McConkey. He had himself a good game last week. I just like his game. He's smooth. And he's starting to find his rhythm there with the Chargers, being in the number one receiver there for Justin Herbert. I checked this guy's target load. Since the season started, he's had nothing less than 5 targets. So, and he's looking like the number one receiver. My third player to watch, this is a guy that should be on the in your fantasy pools, is Calvin Austin. After a performance like he had this past week with 2 touchdowns, he's a dynamic player, and you can see that. Plays special teams, offense, he lines up in the backfield. So he's a player that can get a lot of balls thrown his way and opportunities. He's somebody that Russell Wilson obviously looks for in that offense as a second read there, George Pickens being the first read. I kind of look at that situation similar as Russell Wilson being in Seattle. Calvin Austin, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, George Pickens, and vice versa. For my week 8 betting, I went 12 out of 15. Every week, I keep getting better and better. I'm trying to go perfect one of these weeks. Let's get into the week 9 now slate of the NFL's games. On Thursday, we got the Texans at Jets. Texans are all beat up. Jets ain't doing shit either, all right? Well, I think you're going to get a fresh batch of ayahuasca this week, A-Rod, all right? And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You better get it done here at home. And I like you to do it here at home. Sunday, we have the Raiders at the Bengals, my Raiders. I'm going to take the Bengals there, but I'd also take the Raiders there to cover plus 7.5. I just think that's a big number. The Raiders are a team that they could cover. I like them to do that there, but Bengals money line. Lions at Green Bay. Detroit going to Lambeau. That's our division rival there in the NFC North. There's going to be some bullshit going on. I'm going to already tell you that. I'm going to take the Lions there on the road. I'm taking Jared Goff over anybody in the league right now. And the way he's playing, Jared Goff, Mr. Show Off. And he's going to keep showing it every week. And here's no different. I like the Lions to get it done there on the road. Dolphins at the Bills. Okay, you got Tua Fish back. He's back from his fucking cam. He's back from his concussion that he served there from the likes of Damar Hamlin. He's back playing again. Why? I don't know. The guy's out of his fucking skull. But hey, that's him. That ain't me. Here I like Buffalo at home. I just think Josh Allen front run for MVP right now. I like what he's doing. He's got another weapon in Amari Cooper. Keon Coleman coming off strong. I like the Bills at home. Ravens and the Broncos. Ravens being at home, they just lost that one last week to Jameis and the Browns. I don't know how. I like them to bounce back this week and get it done against the Broncos here. Chargers at the Browns. I mean, it depends on what we're going to get out of Cleveland. That's the thing about Jameis. He's good, but how long is he going to be good for? Chargers got a decent pass rush. I like Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa to get busy there. Taking Chargers there on the road. We got the Saints at Panthers. Ugh. Do I have to pick a winner? If I have to, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you, Bryce Young. I got the Panthers there at home. Commanders at the Giants. I think it's safe to say Commanders are on this fucking high horse right now as well. They should be. You got a new fucking quarterback there. Let's keep this guy safe. I'm going to take the Commanders there on the road. Cowboys at the Falcons. Jerry, you there? Kirk Cousins playing good right now. He can put up a lot of yards and points. Dak Prescott, PU. All right? Yeah, you. But I like you here on the road. Don't ask me why. This is a game the Cowboys will win. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Patriots at Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are pissed. Mason Rudolph, you suck. All right? Fucking Detroit buried you. I like the Pats to do it here on the road. Jeremiah, what's up? Bears at the Cardinals. Okay? Bears, they just fucking got their heart ripped out and wrenched out of their fucking chest last week on that Hail Mary. Well, guess what? I like them in an upset here this week over the Cardinals. Jaguars at the Eagles. Eagles being at home. They're just flying high right now, rightfully so. Saquon Barkley, man, perfect fit there. Both of them receivers are back, Brown and Devontae Smith. I'm taking the Eagles there at home. Rams at Seahawks. This is a division game. And this game is always played it's always turned up an extra notch. Geno, I mean, can you ever get right, bros? I'm going to take the Rams there on the road. They got their receivers back. They got all their weapons and toys. I just like them to get it done there. I don't think DK Metcalf is playing either for Seattle. Colts at the Vikings. Colts just benched AR5. I don't even know why we would even consider putting a guy back in with a guy like Flacco. I like Joe Flacco. He's a winner. Okay. Sam Darnold and the Vikings, they lost 2 in a row last week. I like them to bounce back here and put a gritty in what the Colts got. And then for our last game on Monday night, we got the Bucs at the Chiefs. Listen, may the force be with you, Baker. I like you, man. At the end of the day, you just ain't got enough to get it done. Both of your receivers are out. Mike Evans, I don't know when he's coming back, a couple weeks. You got Chris Godwin, who's down. I just don't think you got what it takes to get it done here. In Chiefs Kingdom, in the Red Sea. I like the Chiefs there at home. And I also like Travis Kelce to smell pay dirt too again this week for 2 straight weeks in a row. Well, as I put the blunt out, I think that's enough smoke for today. Listen, I say this shit all the time. What we do here is brick by brick, okay? And that's just how it's gonna be. We're gonna keep being consistent, keep delivering this content for you guys. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. I see all the love. I appreciate that shit. Just keep navigating with me as we keep going up in smoke. Shout out to my cameraman. Like I said, I got the best team behind me. Brick by brick, that's how we're going to do it. You know what that is, and you know what this is. Up in smoke. Pussy. One pride in the comments. Let's take over Green Bay. Half. Peace.